Last summer in Paris, Simone Biles and the U.S. women's gymnastics team closed their redemption tour with the team gold medal. Now the youngest member of that group, New Jersey's Hesley Rivera, is back with a chance to claim her first national all-around title. Two veterans will try to stop her, including 2021 World All-Around silver medalist Leanne Wong and 2023 World Team Champion Jocelyn Robertson. The top American women are ready to go as the road to the next Olympics in LA heads through New Orleans. NBC Sports welcomes you to the 2025 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Welcome to New Orleans, the Big Easy, where this week they play host to some of the best gymnasts on the planet. Inside the Smoothie King Center, the gymnasts are warmed up. The men have already had day one of this competition. Now it's the women's turn here at these U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Hello everyone, I am John Roethlisberger, joined by a couple of Olympic medalists, Lori Hernandez, Sam Pesek. Will also be joined by a reporter, Brittany Urton, throughout the competition. But you guys, last summer, the U.S. women, led by Simone Biles, went to Paris and they brought back a boatload of Olympic medals. But that group, Simone Biles and company, are no longer competing here. They're not here today competing. So, Lori, what can we expect? What can we get excited about this U.S. women's team?
Yeah, well, speaking of that Olympic team, that team's Hesley Rivera is back just a year later after those games, and she's competing. She's going to want to win this championship, so let's stay tuned and find out.
So obviously a lot of eyes on Hesley, the Olympic champion, but Sam, a lot of other people want to stake claim to that national title here this week too.
Yeah, well, good news. Sky Blakely is back on bars and beam after suffering an Achilles tear at Olympic trials last year. And the best part is she's a medal contender, both here and World Championships in the fall. But we can't forget about the young up-and-coming superstar, Claire Pease. She just won all-around at Classics 3 weeks ago, and the high-performance director said they're really impressed with her confidence, especially for a first-year senior.
So we got some new faces, some veteran faces. The one thing we do know, that this is chapter one on the 3-year road to Los Angeles, and we are getting underway right now on the uneven bars. Somebody who was injured earlier this summer, Tiana Simanasekera. She will lead things off here on the uneven bars. You guys, I know you're very excited about this athlete. We didn't get a chance to see her at the U.S. Classics a couple of weeks ago, which is kind of the tune-up event for these U.S. Championships. Just missed out on that Olympic team. She was an alternate for that team last summer in Paris, but she wants a little bit of that piece of L.A. as well as she starts her competition here on the uneven bars.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing about Tiana is bars is typically her weakest event, but when we asked about her confidence level coming in, she said, you know, I'm confident on all four. I had so much time to work to improve my skills on bars. I upgraded, and I feel more confident on this event here than I ever have before.
On this event, we're looking for nice form, hit handstands, which means those toes need to be all the way to the ceiling. We're also looking at good rhythm, so we don't want things to be too rushed. And right now, Tiana looks like she's taking her sweet time.
Got a little close to the bar, really working to regain that rhythm in this routine.
She's catching those release moves a bit too close to the bar, so that's going to be an easy place for the judges to take some deductions.
Little short on that dismount, but you can see by her smile, first one after coming back after a tough year, as she described it, getting that confidence back, I think is big for her.
Thoughts on the best place to start, you guys, at U.S. Championships? I know beam always seems like the nerve-wracking event for women, but bars seems challenging as well. Where do you like, Lori?
Well, I can tell you what I don't like, and that's bars first. But hey, you get it out of the way, and some athletes like Tiana are just so beautiful to watch on this event that it almost seems like nerves don't affect her.
Simone Rose over on the floor exercise will start there, 17 years old from Bellevue, Washington. She had an outstanding U.S. Classics a couple weeks ago, finished second all around there, hoping to build on it heading into these U.S. Championships.
And we all know the artistry is a huge component of gymnastics and floor routines. Her routine is actually her fighting negative thoughts, and at the end, no one noticed because it actually was all in her own head.
you think? Good start?
I think that's quite a great start. You know, what I love about Simone Rose is that her gymnastics looks so easy and so simple. And John, as we know, gymnastics is simply not an easy sport. So she's a joy to watch, and I really love how much her artistry shines.
Score for Sinona Sekera, 12.95 on her first event, the uneven bars. Sky Blakely, one of the best stories in women's gymnastics right now. Injured last year, but a great story of perseverance. The 2025 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships is brought to you by Nike, bringing inspiration and innovation to every athlete around the world. Nike, the official partner of USA Gymnastics. By P&G, proud worldwide partner of the Olympic and Paralympic Games. By Prevagen. And by Xfinity, the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, one internet price, 5 years guaranteed. The moment every young gymnast enters the gym, it seems they are dreaming of the Olympic Games. Well, enter Sky Blakely. In 2021, Sky Blakely had her first shot at the Olympic Games. Unfortunately, she was injured and couldn't complete those Olympic trials. Well, fast forward to 2024. She finished second to Simone Biles at these very U.S. Championships. She was headed to the trials with her spot virtually secured. All she had to do was be her average self and stay healthy. Unfortunately, the latter did not happen. A torn Achilles tendon and another Olympic dream gone. Some wondered if she would be back. Well, the day after she had that injury, she made a long post on social media, and she ended it with 3 simple words: I'll be back. Well, Sky Blakely is back, and this routine right here is her first elite routine since she was injured in the warm-ups for those Olympic trials. A lot of people have been anticipating this moment, you guys.
Yeah, when we had the chance to speak to Sky Blakely about this moment, she said, there's definitely going to be nerves going into this meet, which is expected. I need to think about breathing, relaxing my shoulders, and I'm excited more than I'm nervous. So that's a good thing.
We'll say we've been watching her routines in practice, and they've been solid. It's all a matter of, can she hit in the midst of these nerves?
Huge standing tuck full, great small adjustment at the very end.
A really unique skill coming up here. Front handspring front tuck. You won't see anyone else do it.
Oh, put her hand down, not quite a fall, but that'll be a significant deduction. And you can see her smiling a little bit. Sometimes you just need to have a little mistake to brush it off, to brush the nerves off.
It's kind of like working out the kinks.
Yeah, she's been looking so strong in practice.
I will say you can tell if a gymnast is quite nervous by the way that their ankles tend to wobble or how much the feet adjust in the midst of a routine. So keep an eye out on that.
She looks like she's really got her groove now in the routine. You do a ton of routines in practice, but it's really hard to simulate this exact competitive environment, especially on a podium. Makes the beam a little shakier.
She's back.
She definitely is back.
Really good routine, great save.
Now on floor for Pacific Lane, Catherine Guy.
Come on, that felt good, huh?
Yeah.
That's got to feel like such relief to have that first competition routine done since her last injury. And though there was that big mistake in the middle of it, she fought for it. She did not come off the equipment, and there's something to be said for that, especially when the pressure's on.
Jenny Rowland, her coach from Florida, greeting her off the beat. Olympic alternate for Team USA in those Paris Olympic Games was world team champion Jocelyn Robertson. Here she is on vault moments ago.
Talk about a powerhouse.
Gonna be doing a Yurchenko double full. Round off, back handspring onto the table, 2 twists off. Pretty big hop back, but she did get a lot of power off that table.
You're looking for height and distance on that landing, a 13.8 on vault. pretty good. Execution, 8.8. I will say execution is scored out of that notorious Gymnastics 10.0 you're all used to seeing. The difficulty gets added onto that, and that's why you're seeing those scores that are in the teens.
You talked about the nerves from Sky on that beam routine.
You can hear Jenny say, oh, that's fantastic. We're listening here over here.
And people might be wondering why she said it was fantastic. And a lot of times it's how you respond to small mistakes throughout your routine that defines the success of a routine. And you could tell she didn't give up throughout that entire routine. And coming into this meet, she said the goal was progressions. And this was a great step and a good progression for her, in my opinion.
Yeah, 13.45 for that beam routine. We talked about the nerves during that routine a little bit, but think about that moment for her. You know, for a lot of people watching, it's a beam routine from an athlete, but for Sky Blakely, it was a monumental moment to get back on this floor and start another journey to her third attempt at making Olympic Games. And I think you can't understate what she may have been going through.
This is the first chapter for her next.
Well, someone who's trying to make it to their second Olympic Games in this first chapter you just mentioned, Lori, is Hesley Rivera. So many eyes on her, so much expectation now that she has that Olympic medal.
We've been chatting with her about confidence, about how do you train to hit in a pressure environment? And for her, she talked about doing pressure sets back home at gym. That means doing competitions where either the whole gym will go and watch. Sometimes you get a short warm-up and you gotta just hit the first one. It's all about learning how to move under pressure. And if she hits, it's gonna be a good weekend for her.
Big series, nice small adjustment. But she mentioned her confidence was a little shook up after Classic. She struggled a bit there. In my opinion, she just wasn't quite ready, which is not a bad thing since you're trying to peak at World Championships this October. A hit beam routine could do a lot for that confidence, though.
Absolutely. I'd say Team USA is looking for difficulty right now, especially after the last games. That's what's needed. And we're going to be keeping an eye out on that. But Hesley has some of that difficulty, and if she continues to build that, I'd say LA 2028 is an easy qualifier for her. She's just got to keep it up.
Good routine for Hesley Rivera. You could see it in her eyes, Lori. She was locked in when she saluted, and I think she needed that to really get back to her full confidence level throughout the rest of this meet.
I think you mentioned it, the confidence she's trying to build and getting that taste out of her mouth from Classics, which she knows that was not her best performance.
Well, Lori, you and I have both tried to come back after an Olympic Games, and it's a different type of pressure because all eyes are on you.
Yeah, coming back from the games, I mean, it's hard to pretend that there isn't any pressure or that you don't feel it at all. Right now, every single person here is watching Hesley Rivera. The last we saw her was at those Olympic Games, and at Classics, as a national competition, of course that's going to be nerve-wracking for her.
The Pan American Games all-around champion, teammate of Simone Rose at Pacific Range Gymnastics. This is Jay Lahang. Really made some incredible strides this season.
Yeah, she has the highest all-around score of any U.S. athlete of the year.
Keep an eye out on her. I would not be surprised if we see her name at World Championships later this year. Over-rotated on that first skill into the front layout. That's why she landed low and stumbled. No fall, though. like maybe she ran out of steam a little there. That's the hard part about floor. Endurance is everything.
Oh, man, she's had such a great year. It's not a good feeling to start off with a fall.
When you were out there competing, if there was a mistake that happened mid-competition, how did you find it best to keep moving forward, knowing you have the entire competition?
Well, the hardest thing in the middle of a routine, and Lori, you know this, is when you have a little bit of a mistake to not get in your head and beat yourself up about it mid-routine, to just brush it off. It's easier said than done, as we both know.
Well,
and I think that's what happened here.
And you said mid-competition. It was the first routine.
It was the first routine.
And so that's even, a bigger
two-day
maybe
competition.
mental hurdle.
But I think that's the positive, is that it is a 2-day competition. So the struggle or the obstacle for her is really letting that go and starting
trusting
new.
that she gets that chance to do it again and to do it even better.
14:05. Solid score for Hesler Rivera to open up this national championships. That's got to feel good. Well, one of the veterans, 2-time Olympic alternate, and she wants to go back and give it another shot. This is Leanne Wong.
I was so impressed watching Leanne at Classics with her composure and her poise, especially on this event. She's always been beautiful to watch, but I think doing NCAA gymnastics has really helped her compete at a high level. When I talked to the high performance directors about Leanne Wong, they said she's one of the most proactive athletes in regards to her gymnastics. She always knows where her composition is, her start values. She can adjust so quick on the fly. Not many athletes can do that.
Something I really love about Leanne's beam routine is that every single time she lands a skill, it's like taking an exhale or a deep breath. It reminds me a lot of watching Kyla Ross, especially during her 2012 era of beam routines. It's like watching yoga. Beam can be a really stressful event to watch, but with Leanne, she just keeps things moving. The flow is nice, which is something you can get deducted on this event.
Yeah, I agree, Lori. Watch her legs when she lands. She bends them really nicely, which means she's absorbing the beam and kind of gives that effect that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like she's not afraid of the equipment, which honestly is a very easy thing to be afraid of, especially when you're nervous. She's working with it, and you can tell.
Wow, great routine. That is the best she could have done. Little adjustment here and there, and that's being really picky. But you can see her coach, Jenny Rowland, gave her the, man, that looked pretty good to me.
That routine did have a lot of connections within it, and I'm really curious to see what her score is going to be, because that connection bonus is a great way to get those start values even higher. It's like in Mario Kart, everybody's racing, but if you get those coins in between, you're going to get an extra boost. You're going to get to the end a little faster. So you want to get that connection bonus anywhere you can during that routine.
So you're going to see the green, yellow, and red symbols next to each score. Pretty simple. Green is good. Yellow solid, keeping you in there. We call those scores that'll keep you in the hunt. You don't want red, though. Unfortunately for Jayla Hang, that 12.2, those are the scores that are going to keep you from winning a national championship. So she's got a little bit of a hole to dig out of. Moments ago on bars, it was Ashley Sullivan.
Her mentality in gymnastics is one that I just admire. She has a really calm, collected view of who she is as an athlete and the way that she perceives life outside the sport. She said during Classics, whether it's a good knee, just too far from the bar.
She was swinging really aggressive, though.
It was beautiful.
Gonna compliment how big of a swing she had, which usually on bars, if you're swinging aggressive, that means you're not nervous. And I like what I saw, just didn't quite get her hand perfectly over the bar.
It's tough because when you get all that adrenaline and you start doing release moves on bars, which is when you let go and you catch the bar again, sometimes you really want to throw it because you have so much energy, and sometimes you throw it a little too far out.
Oh,
let's hope she can keep the routine moving.
Fighting through that release move. Remember, a fall is a 1-point deduction. It's going to show up in her execution score.
Gorgeous. dismount. There was a nice rotation there, but unfortunately that fall, yeah, you can see here, is going to cost her. Again, execution is out of a 10.0. A 6.2 is really, really low, so hopefully she can make that up on other events.
Yeah, it's too bad. She can swing some big bars as well. 13.75. She gets the green. Leanne Wong, what a start for her.
Hey, anything above an 8.0 execution is really good, especially on balance beam.
So a gymnast a lot of people in the gymnastics community are talking about is Claire Pease. She was the junior national champion in 2024. She went to the U.S. Classic, said she wasn't really thinking about winning yet. She also wasn't surprised that she did.
Yeah.
And this is Claire Pease, and she is just a calm, collected first-year senior.
It's an energy that's really rare to see, especially in someone that's her age. I'm quite shocked, to be honest, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see her name during World Championships as well, because she is just one who can hit when it counts.
What you guys are talking about is swag. And for her to be new to this senior competition and to have the confidence, the composure, the poise on what most may say is the most difficult event, I think is really unique and special. And it's this upcoming series right here. Watch how she lands. Layout, so sharp.
Ice in her veins.
Exactly. You could tell there is no second guessing in her mind, which is what makes her so solid on the beam.
This has been one of her best events this season, so certainly wants to get off to a strong start here.
Even if there is any little wobbles or checks that happen, she just keeps moving. I want you to keep an eye out on her arms. She puts them exactly where she wants them, which is oftentimes a place where gymnasts forget. Your arms are important. They guide where you go in the air, and she's paying attention to that. You can see it affecting her gymnastics in the best of ways. Let's see how she finishes the routine. Yeah. Quite the landing deduction there.
Little stumble on the end, but outstanding otherwise.
Yeah, that's going to score nicely.
Anna Lukin there, Nastia Lukin, Olympic champion. That is her mother.
The highlight for me is this triple series, that handspring, layout, having to push so hard out of that back leg, but it's that sharp landing that really shows the judges, I didn't even wobble. I didn't even think about wobbling right here.
We'll get her score when we come back. That has been the first rotation. We're out of the gate here at the U.S. National Championship. Standings after the first rotation. Hesley Rivera, the Olympic champion. She's been working on confidence, she said, in the gym. Well, that beam score and the early lead has got to give her a ton of confidence. Just concluding the warm-up for the second rotation here at the Xfinity U.S. National Gymnastics Championships. Artistry has become a huge component of women's gymnastics, even more so than in years past, you guys. And for Nola Matthews, her reputation is about artistry on this event, the floor exercise. The Winter Cup champion this year on this event, and I know a lot of people who appreciate great floor are looking forward to this moment.
Well, no one does it better than Nola Matthews. It's her facial expressions, it's her passion, it's the energy all the way through the tips of her fingers that stand out. What do you think, Lori?
It's just such a beautiful routine, and we heard from her firsthand that this routine is a murder mystery. I love a routine with a story behind it.
Lori had a big smile on her face as we were talking about Nola Matthews. I know you're excited for this one.
I am excited. And I know, getting out there, she's ready to perform.
Looks like she stayed in bounds. If you're on the white line, it's not a deduction. It's only if your toes cross the white line is it a 1/10 deduction. finished double pike with a step back. Stepping back is a 1/10 deduction, but I'm pausing because right now I actually like seeing her take a step back because that shows me she has enough energy, enough strength to make it through the rest of her routine, and that's tough to do.
Hesley Rivera getting ready to go on her second rotation. Now let's take a look at the Prevagen memorable moment. And for Hesley Rivera, few moments bigger in her young life so far than this one at the Olympic trials last year.
So exciting for someone as young as Hesley to be 16 years old, fresh eyes, and to be on a team with such notorious names, and now she's one of them. There's her parents.
She said she was the most confident she's ever been in her gymnastics, and she really competed fearlessly. I loved watching her last year.
And that was the Prevagen memorable moment. And for more on Hesley Rivera, let's get down to Brittany.
Well, what a moment for her, going to Paris, making history there, being the youngest member of Team USA of any sport, and coming home with gold. She said recently, even though she's achieved her dreams, she's achieved her goals, there is still more. Well, rightfully so. You mentioned her young age. She'll just be 20 years old by the time the next Summer Olympics come around. As you said, feeling that confidence, we saw it on the beam earlier, but I really found it interesting when she was talking about whether or not the added pressure is on her being the only returning Olympian. She said, I don't allow myself or anyone else to place expectations on me. And I think she's off to a great start, guys.
Yeah, Lori and I have both been in her shoes, going to the Olympics and then coming back. And for me personally, I felt a lot of pressure to be perfect all the time. So I wish I had Hesley's mindset. What was your mindset like when you came back from the Olympics?
You know, I was thrown up in the back during 30-second touches, so hey,
we both
all that
could've
matters is that you get out there and you hit when it counts. The moment before, you just got to acknowledge how you're feeling, and Hesley seems to be really handling this pressure with an incredible amount of grace.
You saw Nola Matthews got the green with that 13.5 for her floor routine. Nicely done for her. Now here's Hesley Rivera.
This tends to be a really high-scoring event for Hesley. She's got good difficulty, and her tumbling is so clean. Had a little trouble with one of the landings, but overall, the shapes in the air, her hips are flat, all the things the judges are looking for.
Of world champions on beam.
And there are so many things that the judges can go ahead and find. I used to call them ghost deductions because there are things where even if you're watching and it seems like everything is perfect, there's a lot of places that the judges can still find. However, the first two routines for Hesley Rivera this weekend have been hit and hit well under the pressure.
Yeah, she caught that momentum, and it looks like she's feeling good.
I'm with you on the ghost deductions, though, Lori. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've pulled my hair out going, come on, judges, you got to do better.
You're like, oh, surely this was a great routine, and then you see the score, and you're like, bah, the ghosts, they're back.
Bellevue, Washington native Jayla Hang now on vault.
Yurchenko double full, nicely done. When her feet hit the mat, You want to see the chest in a vertical position, and she did a great job getting that chest up on the landing.
Won this event at the World Cup in Turkey earlier this year.
Sam, you were mentioning before the height and the distance. Right here, that block on the table is what allows that to happen, and Jayla had a really nice one. Jocelyn Robertson is also someone who has a really nice height and distance, so we want to keep an eye out on that.
But look at her arms. This is what sets her up for a really strong vault. Right here, her arms are really straight on the table. Hips are flat, which help lift her off the table in an upward momentum to get her enough height and rotation to make it all the way around. I want you to see her landing too. Watch her shoulders. They're really in a good position in this vertical shape.
2 claps for Sam's telestration, Lori. What do you think?
Yeah.
I give it a green. I give it a 9-1 execution.
Thanks,
like
guys.
14.05 for Jayla Hang. Hesley Rivera keeps rolling. 14.0 for her.
14s in any scenario for any gymnast is a great sign. So to see Hesley get that 14, World Championships is looking real nice this year.
And for Hesley, that's the highest score on beam and floor so far in today's competition. So nicely done for her. Leanne Wong, tremendous start for her on balance beam. Like Hesley, trying to keep that momentum going here on floor.
Big double-double. Good finish at the end. No one can finesse gymnastics like Leanne Wong.
That was like a dart into the floor. Amazing.
She's been playing around with the routine construction. We saw her upgrading a combination pass, but she decided to go with a more simpler option and hopefully have a strong execution. I think that was a good choice for her. It was a really clean routine.
I think it was a phenomenal choice. Sometimes going for a lower start value or lower difficulty actually raises your score, because if you're not doing a skill correctly, you're gonna lose more deductions on that, and it's just not worth it.
Watch her landing. Her chest was actually really low, but she got her chest up so fast.
A 13.8 for the CEO, Leanne Wong. They call her the CEO because of all the businesses that Leanne has got her hands into.
And now she's great at that execution score, and 8.5 is huge. Remember, the execution is out of a perfect 10.
Those landings certainly help Claire Peace now second place after the first rotation, just behind her teammate from Woga, Hesley Rivera.
Extremely under-rotated, not enough energy or height to continue to land on her feet.
Then you see the yellow flag in the back. That means she did, in fact, go out of bounds, which will be a 1/10 deduction.
Be interesting to see, Sam, if both of those feet went out or just one.
Yeah, bigger deduction if both feet go out. That's a 3/10. It wasn't a perfect routine for Claire, but I have to remind everybody that the goal is still to peak in October. So they're still working on those numbers in the gym, and I think practicing, competing on this big stage with nerves, especially for someone that's a first-year senior.
Absolutely. Also, a lot of times, especially for a floor rotation, I do feel like if you're waiting on the sidelines for too long, it can be very easy to feel like you're stiffening up. And then when it's time to get out there, it was almost like that first mistake allowed her to warm up and continue to finish off that routine. So let's see how she finishes the competition, but unfortunate fall.
We'll see what happens with that Claire P score on floor. But this was moments ago. Simone rose 7th place after that first rotation.
Doing a Yurchenko 1.5. She stuck this at Classics 3 weeks ago. Not a stick, but that is the position coaches want to see their athletes land in, with a really strong vertical shape.
It just looks so easy for her, and a difficulty of a 4.6 is quite low for vault, but her execution is so high that I wouldn't be shocked if she just keeps up with other athletes, even if they have a higher difficulty, because it was so beautiful.
Jocelyn Robertson moments ago on the uneven bars, tied for 3rd after that first rotation. Not her best event, but this one was exciting for her.
Yeah, and she said at Classics she was really just working on staying on the equipment, but now she wants to level up, get her spark back, feel that confidence that she had last year. This would be huge for her confidence level, especially on an event that is not as strong for her. She's swinging aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Huge moment for Jocelyn Robertson to stick the landing. You gotta think college has helped her hone in on those sticks just a bit.
Look at that, like a toothpick and a club sandwich, Sam. Nicely done from Robertson, 13.65. So the person that Robertson was tied with for 3rd place after that first rotation was Gabrielle Hardy, 15 years old only, from Twin City Twisters Gymnastics in Minnesota.
Yeah, but she already competed at Pan Am's this year and won the bars title. You'll notice just how clean and precise she is.
Look how straight she keeps her arms, especially when she's catching right here on release moves. In her handstands, her toes are all the way to the ceiling. I mean, it's really beautiful gymnastics.
Yeah, the execution should be really high in this routine. All those little details she really pays attention to. Not quite as much difficulty as some of the athletes in this competition, but she keeps up because her execution is just that good. Struggled a little here on the execution score, but keep an eye out for Gabby. Her gymnastics is just so beautiful.
That 13.2 will move her, for the moment, into a tie for 5th place here in the 2nd rotation. Unfortunately for Claire Peace, 12.05, and Sam, both feet did go out. There is a 3/10 deduction there. We're going to go down to Brittany. She's got something a little unique going on here at today's competition.
Oh, John, I know you're excited about this one. Get ready. Adding another layer of intrigue is the squad showdown. Okay, you're all wondering what that is, right? So each rotation becomes a squad, and what they do is they take the top 3 scores after each event on day 1, total them all together, and whichever squad has the highest total, they are the squad champion. It's a lot like what you see in an Olympic environment, and that's exactly what the program leads told me they're trying to emulate. The camaraderie, the energy, the support you would see at the Olympics. I gotta be honest, I've been standing between the beam and the floor, and you're hearing a lot of yelling, a lot of support from the girls. And pay attention, there are some team names here, and it's the cities where the Olympics were won team gold by the women. So I know Lori, long shot guess here, you're going Team Rio?
Team Rio, baby! I'm going Team Atlanta. Okay, we didn't win anything, but we were there, so I'm going Team Atlanta.
Does that mean I get to take the other 2? I will happily take all the other ones. That's going to be a tough competition.
In case you're wondering, Team London currently has the lead. So back over to the balance beam. Tiana Sumana Sekara in her 2nd event. We saw her on the uneven bars early Not a bad start, a little shaky maybe on that bar routine though, but this event right here, this is one where she can truly shine.
Yeah, I've been really looking forward to watching Tiana on beam. She has a different level of poise and composure.
We've been talking about that confidence and the way that a gymnast absolutely just lands her skills and knows that she's going to make it. Tiana is one of those gymnasts.
I think in a similar way that Claire works beam, she is so sharp on those landings, so sure of herself. And when I asked her what makes her gymnastics special, she actually said that. She said, you know, I'm really sure of myself, and I think I do really authentic gymnastics, and it shows up, in my opinion, the most right here in this beam routine. She said before that she salutes, she likes to get into her own zone and really feel free on beam, which I think is a good word to describe beam. You want to be aggressive.
She's really good at spotting right here. Every single time she does a skill, her eyes are always watching where her foot is going to land. It allows her to be incredibly precise with her landings. And just like the way she moves in her artistry, her choreography, everything has a place.
Yeah, I always say the #1 rule of beam is look at the end of the beam, and she does that so well. Nicely done.
Had a little bit of struggles on that during practice, so I'm excited and relieved to see her make that dismount. Overall, a beautiful routine for Tiana.
So that'll do it for the second rotation. All smiles from Sumana Sekera. We're going to give you the standings and that score when we come back. Well, if the pressures of expectations were heavy, they don't seem to be for Hesley Rivera. 2 routines in, she has looked absolutely sharp, but the veteran behind her by 8/10, Leanne Wong, by the way. Sumana Sekera's score 13-8 on the balance beam. Your squad showdown, you guys, I know you've been on pins and needles for this. Team London is currently in the lead.
That's what I've been rooting for.
Lori's got something to say about that. Team Rio right behind her, and Atlanta, my team, in third. Former Magnificent Seven, Dominique Moceanu. Guess who she's going for, guys?
She said, and I quote,
Not
"I'm sneaking a wink at Team Atlanta."
You gotta love that. And look who's in the crowd. Olympic champion. And by the way, the last time the championships were here, the national champion in 1995 right here in New Orleans. September 16th in LA, CNBC teams up with 2-time NBA champion Kevin Durant and Boardroom for Game Plan. Join this high-powered event at cnbcevents.com/gameplan. Beautiful New Orleans at night. And so far it's been all beautiful gymnastics for Hesley Rivera, leader after the second rotation. Seems like the hardest thing for her, according to her bio right now, gymnastics is coming easy today, is driving. Apparently she had trouble with left turn or right turns because she does everything left. So if you're in, you know, the Plano, Texas area, watch out for somebody who can't.
Godspeed to
right
the curbs.
Hey, if she can do gymnastics like this, I guarantee you she can drive. Yurchenko double full.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Look at the distance where she's standing. Oh, look, she gave a little chuckle, a very demure little chuckle. That was a wonderful vault, Sam. You've talked a lot about the blocks on a table. It's the equivalent of trying to make cooked spaghetti bounce versus a pencil bounce. You want to hit the table as tight as possible, and if you run fast enough, that's going to get you some nice distance from the table.
Look at those straight arms. Twisted a little early. You can see she's on the side of that white line. But check out her arms, how straight they are. I like seeing that. Her hips are in a flat, good position, which again is going to shoot her upward to have enough time to fulfill the rotation before her feet hit the ground. Now look at her upper body, really high in that vertical shape, exactly what the judges are looking for.
I'll be interested to see what the penalty is. The one foot certainly was out of the line.
Yeah.
The other foot very close, but looked like it hopped in. It was out, 3/10 off, but still a 13.8. Tell you what, we've seen some powerful Yurchenko double fulls, and I think for Team USA, they have to be excited about that, because when you lose somebody like Simone Biles not competing here, you kind of have a power deficit, no matter how good you are. So to see these powerful vaults, I think, is a good sign.
Well, that execution was a 9-1 with the 3/10.
With the 3/10.
So that execution, it's out of 10. Due to her body shape that we've been talking about, how great she landed, judges like that one.
Side note for Hesley Rivera, as we see Leanne Wong get ready for vault, she struggled also in the 2024 U.S. Classics like she did in 2025, but let's not forget what she did after the 2024 U.S. Classics. She went on and made an Olympic team, certainly building in a positive direction again here in 2025.
Another Yurchenko double full, lots of power. I like to see the distance Lori was talking about. She got enough height, strong landing position. That's going to score well.
Do you remember how many steps you used to take during vault? I think I counted 13 every single time.
Really? How many did Leanne take?
That's a great question, and I think we should ask her, because most gymnasts will count their steps every single time. You want to make sure you start at the same spot and you hurdle at the right spot.
You see in that slow motion video, a little crossed with her legs. Judges want to see the ankle bones together. That'll be a slight deduction in the air, but overall, again, I liked how much power she had. Strong block. She waited before she started twisting.
She landed near that middle line in the mat. That's always a good sign.
Now on uneven bars for flips, Tatum Drush.
Leanne is going to do 2 vaults. If you want to win a medal at a World Championships or an Olympic Games, you got to do 2 vaults.
From 2 different families, that means the way that you enter the table has to be different each time. So this first one she did was a Yurchenko double full.
Now on beam for Paige, Annalisa Milton.
Wow, plenty of power, guys.
I'm very curious to see what her score is going to be, seeing as she had a really big step on that landing.
Well, what makes Leanne so powerful and so successful on vault is her block. You learn from age 6 or 7 just how important a block is. That's when your arms make contact with the table, and the better you are at blocking, the more powerful and successful your vault is. Now, I never suggest doing gymnastics at home, but this you can practice, and we actually have a demonstrator for us. Wherever you are watching this, put your arms above your head.
You're going to see why I'm not a gymnast, but I'll do my best to demonstrate whatever you say, Sam. Okay, here we go.
Let's go!
All right, she's going to put her arms above her head. I hope you're doing this too at home. And then you're going to do a shoulder shrug. There she goes. Now, put your arms closer to your ears and do a faster, more dynamic shoulder shrug. There you go. That's what a block is. Now imagine they do that upside down, running as fast as possible. Thanks, Brittany. Amazing, amazing demonstrator for us.
I'm not going to try it on the actual vault.
No, we need to see your Yurchenko double full now. I think you're ready.
Me and John were doing it too. I just wanted to say that.
You can't help it. You see her doing it, and you want to be involved. Dulcie Kaler now tied for 3rd place after that second rotation.
Now Dulcie does a tumbling pass. It's a whip full to double tuck to punch front. It's really impressive, and don't blink because you'll miss it.
This is that pass Lori was just talking about. Watch the surprise at the end.
Right here. Yep. Oh. Rotated just and pulled just a little too much, but really impressive.
So difficult.
strong finish to that floor routine. I liked her posture when she finished her tumbling passes. She's really a strong all-arounder that you're going to probably see throughout this competition. I'm willing to bet she's probably going to make national team again, guys.
Second ball for Woga's Claire Pease.
Kelsey Kaler rolling. You can see her 2 new coaches from World Champion Center as well with some high fives. Chris Brooks, Olympian and now member of the coaching staff at the University of Arkansas, 2016 Olympic team member. Had some big news this year. Him and his wife, Jordan Weaver, Olympic champion, had their first baby.
Gigi is so cute. I just keep texting Jordan asking for updates because she is just the cutest baby and so strong, as you can imagine.
I mean, it's destiny, right?
I think so.
Chris Brooks obviously here coaching Jocelyn Robertson. Goes to the University of Arkansas, something that has become much more familiar in women's gymnastics. Elite gymnast going to college, but continuing that elite career. As we take a look at all the athletes competing here that have connections to universities, some about to go on and some that are competing back here on the elite floor, including the one at the top, Sky Blakely.
I mean, those are some huge names in college gymnastics right now, and it's so great that they continue to compete in the elite as well.
Yeah, this is so exciting because I feel like, especially for men's artistic gymnastics, it has been a long time since they've been able to balance collegiate gymnastics and elite gymnastics. And for women now, look at the chart here. We're seeing everybody balance those dual lives.
How about the stable of elite gymnasts going to Florida and UCLA? My goodness, tune into that. That'll be fun to watch those 2 teams going at it in the years to come. Jocelyn Robertson now tied for 3rd place after 2 rotations. Here she is on an event she really can make her name, balance beam.
Well, she was a huge star in college gymnastics, and you can see she brings that energy here to elite gymnastics and also showing the difficulty in her routine.
Earlier, Sam and I were talking about the confidence and all the different ways you can take a beam routine. For Jocelyn, she absolutely attacks the equipment.
Big series right here.
Just keeps it moving. Wow.
The mark of a great beam worker is not necessarily being super straight down the beam, but it's about how quickly can you adjust to give the illusion that you're straight down the beam to these judges.
Yeah.
See a little bobble on that full turn, and to me, that's a nervous wobble.
Beautiful connection there. Does not stop at all, no bobbles.
Finishing big double pike. Gets her chest up. That's a made routine. Another made routine for Jocelyn. She is looking so good, guys.
I tell you what, I wonder, you know, we've seen Jocelyn and Leanne Wong come in with a calmness in their competition, in their demeanor, and I got to think competing as many as 15 meets from January to April has got to really give you a confidence when you step on the competition floor.
It's probably a shift in perspective as well. I mean, John, just like you said, having so many competitions, it's kind of like exposure therapy. The more you get out there and compete under pressure, the more your brain understands how to handle it. So I'm not shocked that we're seeing quite a different energy out there.
Simone Rose tied for 5th place after the 2nd rotation. Simone Rose is not just a gymnast, she's kind of a nail artiste, if you will, and Brittany's got more on that.
Oh, she absolutely is. It was something actually that she picked up during the pandemic, and it's a hobby that stuck with her. She taught herself how to do her own nails. She changes them weekly, often to match her leotards, which she's also designed. And I gotta say, you guys, she has a lot more patience than I do, because I've heard it takes her anywhere between 2 and 6 hours to complete a set. But it's all about showing off the creativity and her personality. And rumor has has it that Sam's nails got the Simone Rose treatment. Excuse me, where was my invite?
Yeah, what? I want to get my nails done too.
She did such a great job, guys. She was so focused, and it didn't quite take 2 hours. Wasn't as intricate as hers, but I think she did a phenomenal job. What about you?
I love it. It looks great, but my question is, you're going to invest that much time in your nails and put it all at risk by going to the uneven bars.
Well, John, that's actually a good motivation to not be far away from the bar and possibly break a nail. It's a good motivation to catch every release move.
That absolutely is, and speaking of catching those release moves, here's Simone Rose's chance to do just that on the bars.
Jordan Childs actually used to talk about how having long nails, she felt made bars a lot easier because she had to open her hand to make sure she was grabbing the equipment. Maybe it's the same here. Beautiful distance away from that bar. My heart dropped a little.
Yeah, she really caught the rhythm, good momentum throughout this routine. She said bars is really her favorite event to compete right now.
She just makes it look so easy. It's really impressive.
Nice. She won bars at Gisolo, an international competition earlier this year. Impressive routine.
She was tied for 5th coming into this rotation. 13.35 should keep her in the mix. Your 2024 junior all-around champion. Moment ago on the vault. A little bit of struggle on floor exercise trying to get it back here.
Doing 2 twists. Yurchenko double full. Ooh, landing short. You can see how bent her knees were when she hit.
Just barely makes it.
Yeah, but she didn't touch her hand, which saved herself from a fall. That's the positive here.
I will say we've been seeing some pretty high execution scores for vault, high 8s, sometimes low 9s. So an 8.3, even though in other events that would be categorized as really high. For this event, it's a bit lower for Claire.
13.3 for her. Second after the first rotation, dropped to 15th after that floor routine and the struggle she had there. So trying to get a little bit of that back here on vault.
I like their blankies.
Yeah,
I like the blankies.
Something you don't see very often is the blankets they're carrying around. Guys, we gotta tell you, it's freezing.
It's
in this
freezing.
arena.
I want one of those blankets.
And you know what? The worst thing, I will die on this hill. The worst thing is getting ready to go and compete, and your fingers and your toes are freezing, and it feels like you're not in the same body that you do practice in. So this is really smart, and I hope it's a trend that continues.
I feel like that's a sponsor opportunity right there.
Blankies forever.
Like Lori said, it's so important before you compete that you start getting the blood moving, maybe do some jumping jacks, really get warm before you start competing.
Tiana Sumanasekara will be the next gymnast to go on floor exercise, tied for 7th after the second rotation.
This floor routine is so important for Tiana. She choreographed it herself. The music she had gate kept for 7 years because it was so precious to her. She will be performing that tonight. With artistry being such an important place where you could get so many deductions, Tiana just absolutely cleans the house.
Huge split jump. Wow. Connected after that double layout. What a way to start. Really mistimed that punch going into the final front full. Good finish. She's getting those cobwebs off. Unfortunately, had a bit of a struggle on that third pass.
And that score is going to be really quite low because that second skill that she had fallen on, she didn't make the turn all the way around. It's tough to say if she sat it down first before her feet actually touched the ground, which will change what she even gets credit
Yeah, very
for,
likely going to lower her D score
Yeah.
significantly, her difficulty score.
That's such a good point. I'm curious what the judges are going to do. Sometimes in a subjective sport, you really have to cross your fingers that maybe they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt here.
Some new coaches at World Champion Center. You can see Patrick Keenes right there. Cecile and Laurent Landy no longer with World Champion Center. Obviously the coaches of Simone Biles. This is moments ago. This is Gabrielle Hardy again on the balance beam.
Watch this back handspring. She pushes all the way through her toes. That just has a very textbook look. She does all of her skills with such elegance.
She did mean to connect that front aerial into those two jumps, but she paused, so she will not get a connection bonus for that.
Yeah, good rule of thumb on this event is the more elements that are connected, the higher the D score, that difficulty score is going to be.
Gabrielle has a good resume of her own. Who was second place at last year's Junior National Championships behind Claire Peace is none other than Gabby Hardy. So certainly somebody to keep an eye on in the next few years.
Yeah, high performance director Betty Aquino said that Gabby wins in execution and that international judges tend to love her style just because how extended she is in every single element.
Gabrielle Hardy, 12.9, so unfortunately in the red there. Decent execution score, but that low difficulty of 4.8 hurt that total. Jocelyn Robertson, 13.8 on balance beam.
She kind of has the flip side. She has extremely high difficulty score and a little bit lower on that execution, but because of the 6'2", that's huge for difficulty. She got a strong 13.8.
Tiana Sumanasekara, a 12.4 for her unfortunate fall on that floor exercise routine. One more rotation for these athletes to determine who's going to be leading heading into the finals, day 2. Big Ten Saturday Night is back live August 30th on NBC and Peacock. We're kicking off this season from the Big House, Michigan, New Mexico. Here comes Saturday night. I'm excited. Lori, do you got a team? You got a football team?
Whatever your favorite team is, so that way I can root for them and then we can wear shirts together.
We'll talk later. Hesley Rivera, she is in the lead. A couple of veterans, Leanne Wong, Jocelyn Robertson, trying to chase her down. Lori, we'll start with you. Serendipitous, I think is the word. That's a lot of syllables for me to pronounce, but serendipitous. You brought up Hesley in the open, and she has delivered.
Absolutely. You know, one of my biggest worries for Hesley was, can she handle the pressure? It is a lot of pressure the year after the Olympics, and with Classics a few weeks ago, she had a rough competition. She has come here, and she has done a phenomenal job so far. I mean, she's going for the gold this weekend.
Well, confidence is something we've talked a lot about with Hesley, and that does not seem to be an issue today. But it's not over. There's a lot of gymnastics yet to come, and I know you're excited to see a couple of collegiate gymnasts, a couple of vets, Olympic alternates right behind her, Sam.
Yeah, Leanne Wong in that second place, Jocelyn Robertson in third. They're really taking the momentum and the success they had from NCAA season. A lot of people were worried that it was going to be too much pounding, too much competitions, but I actually think it's a positive for them because they're working those kinks out, and confidence, that's a main theme of this meet, and they got it.
So we got a good one through 3 rotations, but right now it's the young Hesley Rivera, the Olympic champion, in the lead. Can she hold on in the final rotation? Now it's time for Sattva Presents the Dream Routine. And for Sky Blakely on beam, the routine wasn't perfect, the dismount was beautiful, but she's dreamed about this moment for a long time, getting back in elite competition, and here she is. Welcome back, Sky Blakely. And that was a look at the Sattva Dream Routine. So great to see Sky Blakely back out on the competition floor, just doing 2 events here at these national championships, coming back from that Achilles injury. Thought about trying to push the all-around, earlier this year. Could she do all-around here at this competition? Decided play it safe. Let's just do 2 events, get all-around back next season, and maybe try to make a world team on those 2 events.
Strategy is everything, and Sky, I think it's very smart to try and pace yourself, especially if your aim is for LA 2028. There's a few years in between. There's no reason to rush anything, but her sights are on that competition.
She actually said her dad has been the one that's really reminding herself to pace herself and to celebrate the small victories. Both of her parents have been constant reminders, reminding her how far she's come and really how proud she should be to be here right now.
Yeah, you talk about an athlete that's easy to cheer for.
Yeah.
It is Sky Blakely, such a great human being, and really has handled this setback remarkably well. Well, we called her the CEO. She's got so many businesses, one of which is the LW Sip Cafe, or her coffee company. Apparently she brought it with her here to New Orleans. You could order a cup of coffee from Leanne Wong. I'm not sure how you get it, but she apparently has the strongest coffee in Gainesville. We'll see how strong this bar routine is.
She's been on a roll this competition. Nice distance away from the bar on that release move.
A bit of a leg separation in that toe full we just saw, but everything else is looking quite smooth, just like the way that she does her beam routines. Look at the bar as she swings as well, the way that it dips underneath. It means that she's able to relax and use the equipment. That's a good sign.
Swinging aggressive, finishing double layout. The college athletes, you can tell, put an extra little emphasis on those landings. Didn't quite get the stick there, but you could tell she was going for it.
I love those college salutes, especially when we watched Leanne do her first tumbling pass in her floor routine. There's a lot of joy in the way that she lands.
Really great choices today. Proud of you. Not easy choices, but really great choices for you. Awesome.
You could hear head coach Jenny Rowland tell Leanne that she made great choices, and I think that just goes to show that Leanne is in the driver's seat. She has ownership over her gymnastics. Her coaches have said many times just how proud they are that she's made such great decisions across the board with her routine construction in terms of where she is and her readiness.
I would just like to say I was committed to the University of Florida before I went pro. So, seeing so many Gators
You're
out
just
there.
in the wrong era, Lori.
Rats.
If it was now, you could have done both.
But watch this, guys. Huge straddle Jaeger. You see how straight her arms are?
The goal is to land horizontal. By the time you catch the bar, anything less than that, it's going to be a deduction. Check out those open hips like a banana. Almost perfect form.
Associate head coach Owen Field on the side there, doing what he does all college season long, and the best cheerleader you can have. 13.55, great finish for Leanne Wong. By the way, it's the LW Sip Shop, in case anybody was wondering. If you want that rocket fuel, they call it. Claire Peace, 11th place after that third rotation. I will say, Lori, the world was cheated out of a Lori Hernandez collegiate floor routine.
I agree.
I am just saying.
It always breaks my heart when I think about how much fun it would have been to do a college floor routine. But hey, Claire Pease on the uneven bars. So far, the competition has been a bit rough, but bars is one of her stronger events. Already it's starting quite shaky.
Oh, but good save there. She could have fallen on that, but pushed through.
Each gymnast likes the tension of the bars to be different. Yes, you can adjust the tension, so when you see those cables bounce.
Ooh. We both said it at the same time, and we could tell in her swing before she even let go for that dismount, she wasn't going to have enough momentum to make that rotation or the twist around.
And she's had some tough-looking landings today. We saw one on floor, vault as well, and also here on vault, and putting her body through the ringer a little bit.
Really great cast handstand there, vertical shape at the end, but you can see just was crooked going into that last swing and didn't have her full strength when she let go of the bar.
I get why she would go right into the dismount, and sometimes I do wonder, would it be helpful to add an extra giant to get a bit more speed into the dismount, or is it a tired thing? Is it worth it to just get off the bar and hopefully save deductions? Gabrielle Hardy on the floor exercise.
Wow, that was nice triple wolf turn. We've seen some struggles on that, but not Gabby.
We talked about her execution, Sam. This is a spot where she can really shine.
Gorgeous timing on that, my goodness. It's like skipping a rock on water.
And when she twists, her legs are glued together. A lot of times you see legs crisscrossing.
Watch her facial expression. She's making smiling eyes and facial expressions to people around her. That is part of an artistry deduction that can be taken.
Well, there's actually more artistry deductions this year than there was the last 4 years. So it's athletes like Gabby Hardy that are really going to benefit from that. Lori, you pointed it out that she did a great job with her facial expressions and engagement with the crowd.
Yeah, all those artistry deductions. I mean, there's an entire chart that can be taken for artistry, especially on a floor routine. We're looking at posture, pointed toes while stepping. Is the extension going all the way past the floor? Is the chin up? I mean, you name it, including does the choreography and the gymnast personality match the music?
Saw that score from Claire Peace. This is Tiana Sumanasekara on her final event. This is moments ago.
She'll be doing a Yurchenko double full. Typically has strong execution. Wow, did you see that pop off the table?
She piked down a little bit, but she didn't need to, especially with all those steps at the end.
13.95 for that vault.
The mark of a really good vault is once your hands leave the table, waiting as long as possible before you start the twist. She did a great job, and Laura, you pointed it out. She didn't even need to pike down. She had so much power.
Yeah, sometimes, especially with that adrenaline, if you're in practice and you're training your vaults and maybe you're having a bit of a rough time, then it becomes a habit to pike the vault down so that way you don't land short and put your hands down. But especially when you're going out and competing, that adrenaline kicks in and you get a lot more power. So she did not need to do that. Just makes it all the more exciting.
Somebody that's had an outstanding competition today is the Arkansas Razorback, Jocelyn Robertson. Brittany, what do you got on her?
Well, she said that she's taken a lot away from that college experience being a Razorback, especially when it comes to showcasing her personality. You had mentioned it earlier. She says she's bringing her spark back. I'm not sure it went anywhere, but she says she's finding spots within her routines to really lean into that and get the crowd involved, so I'm sure we'll see that in just a bit.
I watched her all of NCAA season. It looked like she had a lot of spark, so I agree with you, Brittany.
And I'll tell you what, if there has been a void in leadership after those big names have stepped aside for the moment, at least in women's gymnastics, I think Jocelyn is somebody that can take that spot as a leader for Team USA, something that they really do need.
A leader, but also this is going to be the most difficult floor routine in the competition.
I believe this is the highest start value floor routine in the world right now. So much power, big step out of bounds there.
Hasn't had one moment to breathe, but this pass coming up is her upgraded pass. 2 flips, 1 twist in a straight body position. No problem. Finishing double layout, minimal deductions on that landing. Guys,
Unbelievable.
I mean, come on.
I had a chance to ask the high performance directors, what are you looking for when you go to select the world championship team? And they said they're looking for start values that are in medal contention, likely 6-0 or higher. That should be probably a 6'5", 6'6", or a 6'7". That is huge. Just to put it in perspective, at the last Olympics, the only athlete that had a higher start value is Simone Biles.
Gabrielle Hardy on the floor exercise, a 13.85. Nicely done for her. We'll find out what Captain America, as I like to call her, Jocelyn Robertson, gets for that amazing floor routine when we come back. Jocelyn Robertson's score is in 14.15, and I'll let you guys talk about that 6'5" difficulty score.
Oh my God, Sam and I have been talking about this, John as well, but like Sam and I have been talking about how I have no words for it. Her last tumbling pass was my first pass at the Olympics in Rio. Like, she talked about not having any endurance issues. It's practically easy for her. This is the most impressive gymnastics here tonight.
Highest score on floor so far in this competition. And could it be a medal-winning routine at the World Championships later this fall? Time will tell. But in the meantime, Simone Rose, 4th place after the 3rd rotation. Here she is in her final event, the balance beam.
I was talking to her. She said, I actually usually get really nervous before competitions, but for some reason this year, she said, I have this feeling of excitement instead of nerves. And I really think that's a mark of maturity in gymnastics, where you realize to trust your training. Easier said than done, Lori.
Yeah, fully agree with you there, especially when it comes to competitions of this scale, to be able to feel a sense of confidence and pride going into it. I mean, look at her. It shows up in her gymnastics.
Yeah, the common theme is we've been talking about that eyesight, and you can see her eyes are glued to the end of the beam. That really helps you balance throughout the routine.
Yeah, the whole goal, especially while doing gymnastics on a 4-inch wide piece of equipment, is to keep your eyes on the equipment. That's why things such as a switch ring or anything where you can't spot the landing, it's called a blind landing, and they typically have a higher start value.
It's like in baseball. If someone was throwing you a ball, you would watch the ball in your mitt.
Yeah, if you try to catch it with your eyes closed, it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah,
huh?
you want to watch it coming towards you.
Maybe that's what I haven't been telling my kid when we play catch.
Watch the ball. Hey, Sam, I'm sure you've experienced this, seeing as you work with a lot of kids, especially on the balance beam. How many of those athletes have told you that they close their eyes while they're up there? Because I've heard that from a lot of gymnasts as well, and let me tell you, it makes my heart drop.
I don't know, and I don't want to know if they're closing their eyes. That's why the #1 rule is to look at the end of the beam, because it indicates that your eyes have to be open. Very important.
We'll get Simone Rose's score in a moment, but your leader after the third rotation, every rotation tonight, wire to wire so far, is Heslia Rivera. Here she goes onto her 4th and final event. An event she had a lot of trouble on at the US Classics a couple weeks ago, the uneven bars. Here she needs greater than a 13.25 to have sole ownership of the lead heading into day 2 of this U.S. National Championships. Right now, Jocelyn Robertson holds that top spot.
I fully believe that Heslia is capable of that score as well, but she has to hit a nice, clean routine. She is, again, capable of doing that, but the question is, will the nerves or the stamina get to her, or is she going to be able to push through? Because I've seen her do this routine beautifully.
13.25, just to give you some perspective, that's currently the 7th highest score on bars. So very doable, as you mentioned, Lori.
Lori, you mentioned stamina. We saw her compete bars 3 weeks ago. Really nice bar routine on the bar, but struggled with that stamina and really did not make her dismount all the way around, had a fall there. I know she's looking to put a good one under her belt.
I'll tell you what you don't want to do is stand around on the podium waiting for that routine to start, and it can be for any number of reasons, judges conference, equipment delay, anything, but you get in a rhythm before your routine, and you want to keep that rhythm.
Yeah, you see her moving her arms right there.
And also blowing on her hands and on her grips to try and get some warmth into her fingertips right there. The worst feeling is getting nervous and feeling your fingers get cold or just your joints get cold from standing there, and that will absolutely make a bar routine not feel familiar. It can cause a lot of little mistakes, especially if you feel like you can't grab onto the equipment.
Think about it. When your hands are cold, sometimes they get numb, and the last thing you want is to do a bar routine where you can't feel your hands. That feels like a really important ingredient to a successful bar routine.
Yeah, and cold arms also tend to make you feel a little more tired as well, so
here we
stay
go.
Warm.
To maintain the lead, Heslia Rivera.
Far over on that toe full, but she keeps it moving. She's not off the equipment.
Strong start. Really important for her to continue that rhythm. Legs glued together, hitting those handstands. It's a good indicator that she's on the right track and has enough momentum.
She's almost there.
Needs a big tap with her toes. Good recovery from Classics. You can see that smile from her coach Valeri right there. She needed that one.
John, what do you think?
Yeah, I think a big sigh of relief for a lot of reasons. She's
Yeah.
struggled not just at Classics, but during this whole year, kind of getting in her groove, has had some mistakes in competition, and I think that confidence was waning. But was it a perfect day? No. But that kind of makes it even better. That bar routine, not perfect. She had to recover in a couple spots, but she made it through. Didn't do that at Classics, but did it here, and that had to be a big moment for her, a big step forward in growth for Heslia Rivera. Simone Rose, 13.1 for her final routine on the balance beam. Good day for her. Sky Blakely, we saw the comeback on the balance beam earlier. This was her final routine. Just 2 events again in this competition. Here was her effort on the uneven bars.
Keep an eye on her hands the entire time.
She's a dynamic bar worker, lots of power to all of her release moves. Good distance away from the bar.
Right here, keep an eye on her hands as she moves forward with this routine.
Nice.
Oh, that grip. Yep. Sometimes if you don't get your grip all the way over the bar, it's going to cause some issues. She had to stop her routine to readjust.
But she had enough juice and even stuck the landing.
It was not an endurance issue. The
No.
mistake there had nothing to do with could she do it, was she capable? Absolutely she was capable, but sometimes things happen and her hand slipped on that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it just looked like as simple as her hand slipped. Came off the bar just a little early.
I've also been watching her do these routines at practice, and she's been doing hit after hit.
Good job, baby. Thank you. Wow. Hey, you get another opportunity on Sunday, don't you? Yep. Great job, Gators. Proud of you guys.
It's a
Way to
really good
work.
point that this is a 2-day competition. So it's not over after today. You're just working the kinks out. I've had many competitions where I've struggled on day one.
Sometimes life isn't about what you accumulate, it's who you become along the way, and that is for Sky Blakely. What a growing year for her, but she is back. 13.15 there, but it's only bigger and better things in the future. Hesley Rivera, she will have the lead. 13.45 her. That is the lead after night one for the Olympic gold medalist. The 2025 Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships is brought to you by Nike, bringing inspiration and innovation to every athlete around the world. Nike, the official partner of USA Gymnastics. By P&G, proud worldwide partner of the Olympic and Paralympic Games. By Sattva, unlock the superpower of restorative sleep. And Xfinity, the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. As we bring the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships to a close, let's look at the booming moment presented by Xfinity, and who else but Hesley Rivera.
Overall, a solid competition for Hesley Rivera. The vault a bit crooked, but that height and that distance from the table made her a contender. Here on the floor exercise, we're seeing power, we see control.
She was really consistent throughout all 4 events, though. That's what was impressive to me.
Just like today's winning performance, the Xfinity thought that was your booming moment presented by Xfinity. I got so excited, I couldn't even finish that statement. Who else?
It's been an exciting
Rivera.
day, John.
Here is your standings. Hesley Rivera, of course, at top. It's close, though, you guys. 2/10. Jocelyn Robertson, Leanne Wong round out the top 3. Man, a couple of veterans. It's going to be a fun day, too. No doubt about it. And Brittany is with our leader after day one.
And she just said to me after looking at the standings, okay, that's good. Describe what you're feeling right now after night one.
I'm feeling very confident and just calm. I had a very fun night, and I feel like all of my training just paid off. My biggest motto for today was just let go and let God. So I've been working hard in the gym, and I knew my time would come.
You seemed so confident, cool, calm, and collected all night tonight. How are you able to maintain that with, of course, knowing the pressure's on?
Trusting my gymnastics in practice, I've been feeling good, looking good, and the podium trainings here have been feeling pretty good. So I just learned to trust that and trust the process, because there will be ups and downs, but eventually you will have your ups. So, yeah.
And in terms of that process, what will the next day, the next 24 plus hours look like for you prepping for night 2?
I will definitely get my beauty rest tonight, and then tomorrow we have a training that's a little bit shorter just to get our bodies moving but still resting, and then kind of just taking my mind off gymnastics for night 2.
Good for you, but also I have to make note that your squad won Squad Showdown. Just tell me, in its inaugural year, what that was like for you and how it helped out with the gymnastics tonight.
Honestly, for me, I wasn't even thinking about it because I didn't even know that we were doing this until literally 2 days ago. And then we didn't know our team name until we walked out. So I was kind of just focusing on our girls and cheering on the team. And obviously all of us are very close here. So I'm just very glad that we had a good night.
You can sense there's a lot of camaraderie. I know you've been talking a lot about building up your confidence and being ready. How would you say you're feeling going into night 2 then?
I'm feeling pretty confident going into night 2. I already saluted, got the more nerves out this night. So I'm more excited for day 2 and just to have a good time and trust my training.
Great job. We'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you.
John?
Thanks, Brittany. There's your Team London team, by the way, headlined by, of course, Hesler Rivera. It doesn't hurt when you got 2 of the top 3 in the all-around on your team.
Rio did all right.
Silver medal. Did you get a silver medal on beam?
I did.
There you go.
Woohoo!
I think Team Atlanta got a little bit gypped. I think the judges were hard on Team Atlanta. I'm just saying.
Just because it was your favorite.
Well, it was good. It was fun. So a great competition. Very close. Still up for grabs. Hesler Rivera in the top spot. But what jumps out to you, Lori, from tonight?
Jocelyn Robertson's floor routine is something that I think I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. I was just so excited to watch it. I was excited to see the power, the fact that it's the most difficult floor routine in the world right now, and she just went out there and was like, yeah, that's mine. That was such a fun one.
How about you, Sam?
Leanne Wong, her poise just across 4 events, it looks so easy for her. We know that she has a lot of difficulty, that she's still been training, and it looks like she's about ready for it, so that's exciting for me. She has been in the mix for a while, and man, she deserves her moment.
Well, one thing we know for sure is day 2, it is going to be a good one for that national championship. The USA Gymnastics Foundation raises funds to inspire world-class achievement at all levels of the sport and life. Please visit usagymfoundation.org to learn more. You can watch all the routines at the US Gymnastics YouTube channel after the broadcast. For Sam Peshek, Lori Hernandez, Brittany Urton, and our entire NBC Sports crew, I'm John Roethlisberger saying so long for now from the Xfinity US Gymnastics Championship.